Alrighty everyone, welcome back. We are now getting closer to the middle of April of 2023. We have, of course, the last two episodes of Mando Season 3 upon us by Jon and Dave, and exactly how fans have been really getting very excited about the Star Wars Ahsoka series. By the way, the full-length trailer is now fully available on everywhere. Every single media outlet has been talking about it. Very well-crafted trailer, very movie-like. Dave Filoni has done a fantastic job. Go ahead and check it out. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing about Disney Star Wars right now is that basically Bob Iger's endgame is to bring Star Wars mainly back to the movies again, where Star Wars shows are going to basically be more or less of a supplement. Not that they're necessarily going to be sidelined or put on the wayside, but they want to make themselves focus on the movies more so. I guess obviously Disney views this as more of a profit because they can then rely on repeat ticket sales and just flat out ticket sales. So beyond all of this, what's very exciting is exactly what Bob Iger has been talking about today and everything related to the future of Star Wars, where it's heading, and exactly what fans can really expect for the new Star Wars franchise and how it's being handled by different creators out there. Now, one thing that a lot of fans have been very skeptical about is Kathleen Kennedy's shows, The Acolyte and Skeleton Crew, by the way, that are almost fully in her control for the most part. Jon and Dave have been helping out with roughly 40% of each project. Even though Favreau recently left The Acolyte, they are still helping out with the overall direction to kind of make these releases at least somewhat decent. However, with Disney and Lucasfilm preparing to make some very big changes to the franchise, it's noted that just recently Bob Iger, the Disney CEO, revealed more reassuring news to the Star Wars fandom by stating the following. In the past, we made one of the biggest mistakes that may have been misguided on our end, and that was not by involving George Lucas with our properties and projects related to Star Wars. It's the one thing that we noticed fans were criticizing the franchise over, and I am glad to stand here today to inform everyone that we will be getting George involved with multiple upcoming Star Wars stories that are being developed by Jon and Dave, as well as some of our talented creators on the other end. It's in our best interest to expand the stories that we want to by listening to many of George's ideas come to life to share with the fans. Our goal and aim is to have George's work closely with Jon and Dave's vision of where the new Star Wars shows and films are heading, and how we can create a proper balance for the dedicated supporters that really kept this franchise relevant over the past years. So let me stop right here for 1 second. Now, what's exciting about this is that we know that everything related to the new movies that were recently announced that will focus on the Dawn of the Jedi, as well as the New Republic and post-Episode 9 content, that is just the beginning. We have Old Republic movies in the works that will be announced later this year, by the way. That's going to be a very big deal as well. And George Lucas is going to have a hand in many of those projects up and coming, either directing or becoming a co-writer, helping out with Jon and Dave, and other creators out there alike. This is very reassuring, and even Bob Iger says that he believes that this is going to be reassuring to the fans because, let's face it, George Lucas is Star Wars. He is the father of the franchise. He is the guy that created this thing back in 1977 and really gave fans something very unique to look forward to. And when Disney was crafting the sequels, a lot of fans were just kind of okay with that. Now, we know that Jon and Dave are developing a post-Episode 9 series that's going to feature Rey. It's going to tie into that Rey-centered movie, and it's going to take place after it, by the way, where they are going to be changing the name of Rey Skywalker to something else. Not that she is a Skywalker by blood, but they're changing that overall narrative of Rey calling herself a Skywalker. That overall system is being canceled. Now, the thing about George is that he's going to be helping out with a lot of the upcoming Star Wars shows as well, like Ahsoka Season 2, Mando Season 4, and a whole lot more with Dave Filoni's Star Wars movie that he's directing that's going to allow them a chance to bring young Luke on the big screen again, as well as Grand Admiral Thrawn and a handful of other characters out there. This is something that we've been talking about that just got announced today about the Mandoverse era characters being portrayed on the big screen. And yes, that is going to be Dave Filoni's movie. So, on to the next thing, of course. Bob Iger goes on to elaborate. It's our pleasure to let everyone know that a big piece of George's legacy will also be coming to life that we are very excited to share with the fans later this year. We think fans are going to really appreciate with what we are doing here and what to expect. Separate from what Iger stated, this all alludes to how Lucas will be involved in directing a show called Star Wars Underworld, as well as some of the upcoming Star Wars films as a co-writer that will be announced later this year, including The Old Republic, that will focus on all of that. This Star Wars plan by Bob Iger will also allow Lucas to hold key privileges over at Lucasfilm, as he intended to let Lucas take over the story group by 2024 for the fandom to feel reassured about where the franchise is also heading. So keep in mind that there's a lot of things going into this overall, plan by Bob Iger to really kind of just bring Star Wars movies becoming more relevant again. And let's not forget that Kathleen Kennedy is the one who made the Star Wars movies go on a hiatus. She's the one that made that call. It's why you have not seen a Star Wars movie in a while. In fact, she's the one that made the Kenobi movie into an actual series. First it was a movie, then a trilogy, then a series. That was all Kathleen Kennedy, kind of knocking that down to a Disney Plus special. So on to the next big thing here, what's even all the more exciting is that George will also be focusing on the return of legacy characters. Now, I don't know about you, but legacy characters at the end of the day are the core of the franchise. I'm not saying that you have to 100% rely on them, but you do have to acknowledge them, and that's what George is making sure of with all the upcoming projects that will be announced at D23. Again, Celebration today was a very special day for the production panel, giving us a lot of the updates related to live action stuff, including a trailer of Ahsoka, Acolyte behind the scenes, as well as stuff like that. Now, Acolyte is a Kathleen Kennedy-driven project, mind you, and it has been going through a lot of issues, so they're trying to get this thing out by the spring of next year. We'll have to wait and see if there's any delays related to that. But overall, basically what Disney is trying to do is that they are trying and ultimately attempting to really bring back the magic that Star Wars once had. And basically that's all going to be done through George, John, and Dave working together as a trio. As you saw with that Ahsoka trailer, the magic is there. The magic is there and it's back because of Dave Filoni's writing style and the way that the trailer was edited, the way that this actual show is being edited like a movie. It's very well crafted, and I cannot wait for fans to see it. So, Bob Iger, really laying everything out on the front here about what's in the planning stages and what is moving ahead, and I could not be happier. So, anyways, I'm really intrigued to hear what you guys have to say about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to morning.